International passengers arriving in India. As per the new norms, the government has classified the travellers from other countries into two categories. While the travellers from the first category belong to the countries who are at COVID risk, the other category houses travellers from countries which are excluded from the risk list. The laid down norms direct all international travellers to submit a self-declaration and a prior negative RT-PCR report before the flight. The travellers are also required to submit an overtaking to the centre before the travel. So I'm going to go across to my colleague Gauri Singh, who will take us through the details in this regard, because we are talking about categories here, Gauri. And if you can then help us understand that what are the categories we are talking about and what comes under each of these categories.
That's right, Afrida. So the government of India has divided all these countries and the passengers coming from these countries into two categories basically. One is category A, and this category A actually includes all those countries which are on India's risk list right now, and the other one is the other list actually contains all the remaining countries which are not on the risk list. Let's take a look as to what is the protocol for the passengers coming in from the countries which are at risk and the other remaining countries. For category A, the risk list countries that we are talking about, if a passenger is coming from those countries which are at risk list, the fully jabbed passenger will have to self-health monitor for around 14 days. That is one condition, and of course this health monitoring will take place upon arrival in India. Another important thing, what about partially jabbed people from category A countries? For them, the norms are that they have to undergo a COVID test post-arrival at any of the airports in India. Another important thing regarding partially jabbed people are that the home quarantine of 7 days will be mandatory for them. So when they arrive in India, they have to undergo a COVID test, and they have to also observe home quarantine for at least 1 week. Let's move on to the other category, and that is basically non-risk countries. For them, the passengers actually have to undergo a COVID test post-arrival, and this will be applicable for all the passengers, whether they are fully or partially jabbed. Another important thing which needs to be kept in mind is that they will have to undergo 7-day home quarantine, and this also will be applicable for both fully jabbed and partially jabbed. So this is basically the categorization and rules that have been announced by Government of India.
Thank you so much, Gauri, and that should give a lot of clarity to people who are planning to come into India. These are the norms that will have to be followed, and one, of course, will have to know under which category your country comes under, and then, of course, follow the rules therein. Thanks so much, Gauri, for giving us the details.